with free agency approaching in the National Hockey League, the Sharks made a couple mini deals. I mean, these weren't really super impactful. I don't really know if they're really going to affect us, but this is kind of how it went. So, the first thing first, Ryan Donato was not qualified, so that means he will become a restricted free agent. Now, for those of you that don't know, Ryan Donato was a new Shark last year. Like Devin Dubnyk, who was also a new Shark last year, he came from the Minnesota Wild originally. There was a lot of hype around him, actually. Like, people were saying him and Dubnyk will be big additions to the team, and spoiler alert, they really weren't. I mean, Dubnyk was traded around midseason to the Avalanche, and Donato, I mean, he had a really rough year. I actually like the guy. The way he played, I mean, was really good, like, in terms of his style. He was aggressive out there on the ice. He put a lot of, heart and soul into it. Had a couple good goals, but he just didn't really fit super well on the Sharks lines. And I mean, it just didn't really work out. I kind of expected this to happen. It was kind of foreshadowed earlier in the year that they wouldn't really get Donato again. But yeah, I mean, I'm not really mad about it. I'm not happy. I'm just kind of unaffected by it. So that's just kind of how it went. And in addition to not qualifying Donato, they would not qualify Merkley. So basically, Nick Merkley was actually acquired today, and he was traded for another Sharks player. But that's kind of a smaller trade. He was kind of just for the kind of depth of the team. But now it looks like they're not going to, exercise his rights. But, he was acquired for Christian Jaros, another younger player that spent most of the time in the American Hockey League and semi-pro leagues. Merkley, was kind of surprising. I think a lot of people were saying it was a good trade, but I mean, quite honestly, I don't think it really affected the team too much. They traded, like I said, defenseman Christian Jaros to the Devils, and he was immediately given a new contract. So that, basically allowed Jaros to become a free agent and allowed New Jersey to maintain those restricted free agent rights to Jaros. So, and that will expire next summer, obviously. So, I mean, I think, I think the Sharks will keep him. What I've heard, according to Mercury News, they're intending on keeping an agreement with Merkley, so keeping that former first-round pick here with the Sharks. But, it was a little alarming seeing that a guy we just traded for was not going to be qualified, right? So it was a little surprising, but I mean, it sounds like we're going to keep him. And, I mean, he was a first-round pick, so, he's got a lot of time to develop, it sounds like. And he is not like a veteran, so it's definitely, a lot of time for him to improve. But yeah, for Merkley, he has 3 career goals, and he had 2 last year and 8 assists, so a 10-point season. He's only played 3 seasons in the National Hockey League, 2 of which with the Devils, 1 with the Coyotes. And, I guess last year was his best season. I mean, he had 2 of his 3 career goals last season, had 8 assists, like I said. Pretty decent year. Christian Jaros didn't really have a big impact on the team. And Merkley played, roughly a little bit more than half of the games. I mean, there was 56 last year, and exactly half the games pretty much. He played, 27 of the 56, but in his career, he's played 32. He was very minimized during his first 2 seasons, so I think it's possible that he'll have a breakout season. As for Donato, like I said, the guy that the Sharks will be getting rid of eventually, he had a tough year. I mean, there was stretches of times where he would have no goals at all, and it was disappointing. He really needed to shine. He had 6 goals last year, which isn't terrible, 14 assists, so actually a decent year for him, but I mean, he was given a lot of ice time as he was kind of like, hyped up. And the last thing is Noah Gregor will be, it looks like staying with the Sharks. Another guy, he was restrained rights in addition to new goaltender on the team, Aiden Hill, which I guess is good. Noah Gregor, is another younger guy. He was, drafted in 2016. So he's been in the league for a little bit, but mostly in and out of the AHL. I mean, he's been with the Sharks officially for 2 seasons. And, career-wise, he has 8 goals and 3 assists. Last year, he actually had 5 goals, which, was pretty good for him. I mean, that's 5 of 8. So that's not bad at all. But yeah, those are just some transactions. So looks like Donato and Christian Jaros will be leaving. Merkley, you know, there's a decent chance he stays. I mean, the Sharks said they would keep him, so I'm going to take their words for it. But anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts on these transactions, and I'll see you guys later. Go Sharks!